With me in studio is media tenor researcher Andley. Andley, thank you so much for joining us on Ann7 Prime. Now, you've done research, media tenor's done research about the kind of coverage that the World Cup has received. Has your research shown what effect has the allegations of FIFA's awarding of the World Cup in 2022 to Qatar had on this current World Cup?
Well, I think it has quite a big impact, just because the negative coverage, because of the scandal, is taking away some of the glory from the actual World Cup, which is starting tomorrow. Now, this is a big issue just because the build-up to this World Cup has already been marred with controversy, with stadium not being completed on time, with violence, with protests that is still ongoing. So now for FIFA to come in and have the scandal going on is actually quite bad for the World Cup itself.
Andley, how has FIFA's reputation changed over the past 4 years?
Over the past 4 years, FIFA's reputation has actually improved, believe it or not. Just by looking at our data, the elections in 2011 of the FIFA president caused quite a bit of controversy as well, just because of one of the candidates dropped out and it said let her run being unopposed. Now, with that controversy happening, and FIFA growing sort of steadily away from all the scandals, it's actually been improving again until now.
Okay, so it's actually been on the up and up, surprisingly.
Not necessarily up and up. The negative coverage has
decreased.
Yes, yes.
Let's make that quite clear.
Yes.
So what effect does the 4 out of 6 of FIFA's main sponsors voicing their support for an investigation suggest?
Well, I think this is also quite bad for FIFA as a world governing body. I've read recently that there's suggestions by, I think it's the ex-FA chief executive, saying that FIFA is actually run like the mafia. And again, that is unbelievable to say.
Doesn't get more negative than that, really, does it?
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Brazil's image as a developing nation has really been cemented. How has that happened and come about?
Well, I think we can relate to that somewhat, just because 4 years ago we were directed with the same sort of questions, the safety concerns regarding South Africa, our organizational capabilities. But at the end of the day, we hosted one of the best World Cups there is. Right now, Brazil's facing the same issues, but I think take nothing away from them. Soccer or football will still be successful at the end. But looking at it from a citizen of the world's point of view, I think there's still much to be desired regarding Brazil in general.
How do you see the coverage starting to shift or change from this point on as we sit on the eve of the World Cup?
Well, for football's sake, let's hope all the focus is on the players and the sports itself. I mean, as an avid football supporter and player, I want all the attention to be on this glorious event that we've waited so long for. And we need to sort of stay away from the negativity and focus on the football.
And I have to ask you, because you're sitting here in the seat, who do you think is going to walk away with the cup?
I think the favorites must be the host nations, Brazil, just because of the home ground and it's sort of football's ancestral home, and I think they will go really far if they do not win it.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Ann7 Prime and sharing your research with us. That, of course, is media tenor researcher Andley. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow from myself, Chantal Ross, and the rest of the Ann7 Prime team. Thank you for watching, and a very good night.